My goodness, is it a good day or not? So we had to take a day off and rejuvenate, recalculate. Yes, because we're thinking about those calculated risks that we have been taking. Let's get some light up in here. All right, y'all. So I was just sitting there and then I was like, okay, I need to go live with the message for today because we have been rejuvenating and getting our rest to get in tune with what the Most High is saying. And yes, I know y'all probably like, oh my goodness, what you got on? Why you got it like that? This is my headscarf, and this is something that is big enough to be as a sarong. I use it for if I feel, depending on the weather, or if I'm been swimming, something like that. So you take it out here and then you put it around you. If you are sitting outside in the cool air, depending on how you have your hair tied up, that's what your scarves could be used for, your sarongs. Um, yeah, but that's what we're doing right here, right now. I said, let me see how I would look if I put it in this particular type of way because I know there are many different cultures where women adorn themselves with material and they will wrap it up how you want. You got a hijab, you got so many different styles and technique, but this is a way to protect yourself as well when you are outside against the elements. If it's a little bit cool, if it's too hot and the sun rays are shining on you, for those of you ladies who are in those desertous areas, and that's probably why it's in the energy. Okay, so coming up with the 357. Today is December the 5th, 2023, y'all. Y'all know it. Y'all been getting it over here in the Western calendar in America. So, since these messages have been coming up, is also that the Most High has been allowing me to see the area code time code for certain numbers that resonate with the date. And unbelievably, to my surprise, I guess that's where the energy comes from me being wrapped up like this is from Cyprus, Dubai. 357 resonate with that area in that area alone. We'll get into the details of why I feel like it is something that resonates with that area in that area alone. But let's go into what it is that we have gotten through the research that we have done, spiritual research, and using the tools in the right manner for what it is that the Most High has already given us, and that's our minds to use them. So the 357 is a sign of progress for you to understand if a relationship or a friendship or a job is good for your future. You must make positive progress in your life. So this is where it's resonating at. So they're saying, okay, everything is good on the go. You've been doing what you're supposed to be doing. I did have these down like that earlier. And I was like, oh no, that's in my eye. I'm not gonna be able to read right. But I can understand why these are here. And maybe if you put some bees on there. I know I'm getting sidetracked, but I you know, the camera is like a mirror. In the appearance, okay, with the progress. All right, y'all, let's get into it. Please don't worry about how I look. I'm gonna show y'all how to wrap y'all hair like this, ladies, after we get through the day of what it is that the spirit is giving us. So just stay tuned, fellas. Don't get too distracted. This is not how I come out every day, but then I'm thinking about it. If my significant other didn't have a problem with it, and that was our culture, I wouldn't have a problem with it either. It's just the getting of the different materials. Can he provide that? Because it is different prints. This is from Belize. Thank you, Mama. Okay, so angel number 357 is a sign of progress. That's where we were at. And then we know that it is to understand our family relationships, our friendships, and how we are everywhere in our life. The angels remind us that something may be good for you, but it does not help in the if it doesn't help in the development of your life, you must cut it off. So that's what everything has been resonating with throughout the messages we're going into this month, is being in tune with ourselves. So that means a lot of things will be cut off or out because you're spending more time with yourself. But ultimately it is so that you can be a better person for everyone opposite of you, not in opposition, but opposite of you. Remember, we're standing in the mirror, so they're the ones that's facing us, and then that's how it will be when it would be considered some interventions. If it has to get to the place of being a forced progress for your life, so that's where interventions come at for some people, right? But we know when it's time to intervene for those of the family that are aware and are active in their loved ones' lives. You are closer to them to pay attention to that as well. All right, that's where we getting at, cutting cords and doing something new. So we are moving. Those cords have been getting cut. A lot of people are in the mindset of, I know where I want to go and what has been holding me back. So these are the questions. What's holding me back? Because if I'm facing the mirror, I gotta talk about myself. If I want to say you, as far as delivering the message, because we're doing the mirror. All right, who has my back? Who has your back? Okay. So the first question: what's holding you back? The second question: who has your back? Remember, these gonna be reflective of me as well. Who's coming back? Now, that's alone because that's someone else's behavior when you think about it, because they're not really um in the interactive stage with the who's coming back, because that doesn't mean that you have been interacting with this particular person, group, or thing, right? What's holding you back is a thing. It could be anything, a habit, because we were talking about interventions. It could be um, anything that you can consider a roadblock to your progress. All right. And it can be even right now, somebody sitting in traffic and they trying to figure out how to get around because the traffic is holding them back. You got somewhere to be at. You possibly running late. And then the who's. That's what we thinking about. And then the Whoville came up in my mind. It's like it's Christmas time. Why wouldn't it be evident of that? Let me write that down. The Who's live in Whoville. Who thatville? It did make sense. Yeah, who thatville? All right, coin that December 12th. December is a 12-month 5 in 2023, which brings us to the 357. We're making progress on what it is that needs to be done in our lives. It was very much needed, that break, in order to get past some of the things that have been holding us back. Because in that particular perspective, we were able to get into that creativity and express it as well as we are as professionals. And we use that time to polish our gifts and talents that have been given from the divine. Oh, come on, baby. Let's get in there. Let's do this. It's like we got the golden ticket right here. We want that 24 carat. They say they don't want nothing watered down. We gotta get 24 karat gold, and I don't want it on paper, right? We want those things that they will have called dinars if Gaddafi had done did it, but he did not. So now it is still something that has been printed. All right, people will be carrying their currency in gold to make their transactions. But I'm just thinking about it like this. All right. The progress that we are making is everything on the spiritual level. You have that golden crown. You're about to be crowned gold. Now, it will be something nice for the make. I feel like somebody costume designer, wardrobe designer, possibly for the concerts. I don't know, but I'm just thinking let's get into the business part of this. When we are our business, we taking care of our best business, because no matter what other business there is to be held when it comes to a business order from services and goods, we have to remember our servicing ourselves. And what is that? Serving ourselves well. We have things that we use for our skin, as far as health, the things that we ingest, that's servicing our body, right? And that is ultimately dealing with our functions, how a business function, handle your business, right? And then we got all of the parts that facilitate the day that we live. Some of us are missing certain parts, and we know that it's vital for us to do the things that must be done, like if you have only one kidney, or if you somebody who have portion of your liver, to take care of those things that you may only have a chance of replacing it, or if you don't replace it, you have none, right? All right, now that includes our daily activities as well. For those of you who are immobile, you have to use the parts of your body that is still able to function muscularly, right? Because we know that some people have skeletal differences. All right. Now, if you still have those muscles, and then you have them going all the way down, our body has muscles everywhere. The face has so many muscles. And then we move our muscles when we are speaking, as well as smiling, and just thinking about the smiling part. Think about somebody who is genuinely someone who smiles and is happy to see everybody and they're okay. And if you see lots of people and then you smile at them, think, oh, and the amount of muscles that you will use throughout the day in your face for smiling is better than to frown. For those of you who do not know, I grew up and hearing, don't make those faces. Those faces will become embedded in your impression. That's why there is a thing called the rested bitch face. But the progress of that is from years of training of being in that particular facial expression. Because we're not going to have the same facial expression for a lot of things. And that's why certain people are revered as being the best poker faces. Is where those particular terms come from, or someone who is a person of many faces, disguises, or what have you. Now, to be expressive in facial expressions, or particularly a language, because people do blink. We see that in certain sporting arenas where blinking is a message or whatever, from the pitcher to the catcher to the third base coach to the first base coach, all right? Or anyone on that particular team who knows the codes or whatever, from the pitcher to the catcher. All right. So catching the pitch and who that will, with the progress of what it is that's going on spiritually, everything feels. I'm going off the feels right now, and everybody know that I normally will talk about not so much in the feelings, because those feelings that you're feeling as an empath could be of someone downward emotions, and that's the type a type that I generally do not like picking up on, but when I do, I will come with a message that it is that's needed if it's something that is strong in the sense of it's really close, because there are feelings that you can catch that are from afar, and we're dealing with that when we're dealing with the distances, and that's why the Most High is allowing the messages with the area codes to come in. So, in the progress from where we started with the 357, moving into that would bring us to the 15, which is of love, right? When you think about the angel number 15, love. 15 meaning reveals that this number is one of love. People who possess this number are loving, caring, their spouses our partners are always happy because they are loved unconditionally. So, for those of you who have the number 15 that is resonating with your angel number or your life pad number, we recognize you as being these ways and carrying these particular attributes. Thank you for you being who you are, because without love, there would not be any room for peace. It would just be hate. Love always wins over hate. That's what it is. That's bringing us into the angel number 6. But let's read on a little bit more, because the 1 and the 5 is the 6, and we're going to progress to that, but not at this particular time. Okay, people who possess the angel number 15 are compassionate, generous, kind, and trustworthy. All these qualities are exhibited in their love lives. And got to be the lover of all lovers if your number is definitely resonating with number 15, right? And that's what the angels are talking about. The angel number 15 symbolizes love. If you keep saying it often, you should expect love to knock at your door very soon. So, for those of you who are not an angel number, life pad number 15, you can possibly be looking forward to, if you are engaged with someone, and I'm not saying like engagement like a ring or whatever, and you know about it, but or you are connecting with someone that has the angel number 15. So that is a good thing. That's what we're talking about. And guess why? Because resonating in that love zone, it ultimately brings us to a six, which equals family. I'm so excited. I'm trying to talk faster than my lips can move. Okay, so that's going from the love to the family with the 357, because the 357 is the 15, and then it combines to the 6. That's the progress, because we're going from here to here to here. Now, if you want to go, for those of you who still resonate with the number 12, we will give it overlook because that's the overall harmony, love, balance, harmony, love, and abundance. I know you have to have balance in order to have all of these things. So that's the theme for this month. And it is so evident why we have so many movies that are themed around people being engaged and it surprises, people finding out that they're having children. It's like gifts and joy, and that's what is the abundance about, right? And it's not so much of what it is that we are buying to give to one another, but what we are presenting, because we are already abundant. Everything else come from us. You have to cut down the trees to make the money. It took your time, your thought, an idea. That's what we are now in these times. But then it wasn't even that. It was you had the thought to look at the tree and see the food growing there and decide to eat and share. And see, they want to paint you a picture of something that's wrong when you're dealing with what is done at home, right? on a reverse style of what it is that the indoctrination has taught us about the aspect of the woman role. These are the things that are condescending and they're contradicting because it is the woman's role once the man has planted the seed to take the fruit and feed everyone. Do you underdig me? So it's so much more that I can go into about the perception of what it is that certain books have given to me when I say that we are the living word. We know what we wrote down on paper. So the living word is always going to correct itself or anything else that is trying to put in a misprint, right? The misprint would be considered the things that need to be edited, right? Is if you send your exact copy to the editor and then they put their context on it, it does not become your word anymore. It's your word edited. That's why it's best to be your own editor, or say that in this particular compilation, this is a dialect that could only be understood by those who carry that dialogue. If you've never had that dialogue, you would not know what the people are talking about. But in this particular perspective, we're going on an English language that has been given and spoken with the angel number 12 resonates with the month of December, okay, which will be if we thought about it in a different language, right? But it is the 12th month. When we're in America in those winter seasons, okay? It may feel colder in some places that are snowed in and ice everywhere, snow everywhere. You're having a white Christmas, is what they would call it. I'm pretty sure you're used to having it all the time. Some places in different regions in America do not have white Christmases, but sometime, occasionally, especially in what we call the dirty South, you will get those white Christmases. It depends on the combination of the weather, right? But we're thinking about where we are in progress with the 357 for this particular winter season, with everything that has been presented to us to be able to give to each other in our presence. The spirit animal for the today is the ants. And if we get into what it is that the ant brings to us, it's going to put a cap on everything that has been spoken for this date. So I'm not going to do that just yet. We're going to go into what it is that the area code resonating with Dubai is bringing, because I'm pretty sure that a lot of you all who are thinkers and deep divers, especially a lot of you gentlemen who do a lot of research about what is going on with certain things like global warming and those particular alphabet groups that are coalitions that's forming and having meetings that are secret in certain places, you will be enlightened. Just say that. So the angel number 357 resonates also in region with only one place, and that's Crispus, CY, quite Cyprus. That would be Cyprus, Dubai. Okay, and I remember hearing a heading that they were just flooded not too long ago, but there was a meeting there, right? And it's the United States and six other countries joined the alliance to abandon coal. One of the things that I can remember as a child growing up in the 80s, that there was a movie about a country singer, Loretta Lynn. She was a coal miner's daughter, right? And I remember hearing that. I like, why is the importance of coal so proficient in America? the United States of America, should I say, because the landmass and the corporation is two different things. So the United States and six other countries joined the alliance to abandon coal. The reason why they're trying to abandon coal is because they want to be this particular coalition. I'm going to get into the article. These are the notes that I took. 100% CO2 free electricity by 2035, which is basically about 10 years away. You're going to say like 10, 12 years away. And I'm thinking about it. All of the different fuels that they've been using, because coal is considered to be a fossil fuel, right? From what I've read off. So a little bit in the article. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I can understand that. A lot of people have died on the harvesting of the coal in those mines in America. That's why they do have certain insurances set up for them that have steep pays, like millions of dollars. I know a lot about this stuff. I don't talk with people about this, but these are things that have been talked about in the family, because we didn't just watch programs and know history or have history lessons at the same time, because some of the family members may have been part of those unions. They have unions, okay? And then it makes me think about the song that Sizzla Kalonji have, Chili. See, it's always a song that was played in the roster club, but the backstory behind it, it was not just about the people in Chile. That's one of the number one sources of their revenue in Chile. This is information I've been knowing for a long time, but like I said, it's just certain people that I would talk about certain things with. And if But let's not go there. We're going to keep going forward. But this is one of the things that the 357 brings us when we look deeper into Dubai and Cyprus, Dubai. Because, there's many other things that we could talk about, what was going on over there. But then the coalition had the meeting there, because the 357 is their area code only. So the six other countries that was involved in this meeting was the Czech Republic, Cyprus, Dominican Republic, Iceland, Kosovo, and Norway. And this was just on December 2nd when this meeting had convened. Right? They're trying to phase out of the coal. They're trying to phase out of coal altogether. And they was speaking at the UN Climate Summit in Dubai, right? And this is headed by John Kerry. And, that's our representative that is ready to go full phase out of the production or usage of coal, because they're talking about the emissions. And he urged that the rest of the world needed to join. And it's a power and past coal alliance is what they're calling it. So I'm thinking about it. Okay, we're going full on electricity. Now, if we're going full on electricity on the mother and nurturing side of it, I don't want to sound like I got a cold stuck in my throat. On the mother and nurturing side of it, I always come, because I know y'all know I'm going to be like big sister sometime. We should have free electricity. There should not be a cost. What are you charging us for if you're capable of going 100% electrical? That means you're getting it from a source that is unfathomable. It's endless. Why would you charge the people for something that's endless if you're going 100% full on electrical? That means that The cars that are battery operated and still have carburetors and are catalytic converted, pretty soon they're going to be considered classics, and you can put them in those big old garages that a lot of you all have for cars just to sit up and look pretty, because it looked like whatever China have been building with all those electrical cars are going to be coming. Now the thing about it is, I did see the expressiveness of the manufacturing of those cars, and every last one of them look the same. There's no differences. Now maybe you go to a personal painter and have them wrap with the vinyl that they're selling. Oh yes, I watch all of this type of stuff. But just the thought of it is like, this is what I witnessed this. Like it's inevitable, because it was a dream that I don't want to reveal that I had it, but the sight of what it was that was in the dream let me know that this is stuff is what they actually is planning for. And the strangeness of what it felt like in the dream is that for however long I was there, I had no control over my own will. That was the part that was like so disturbing, because in any other dream that I've had where I'm traveling and I'm on the road and I have the will and something happens, like if I begin to doze off in the dream state of a dream, like I'm falling to sleep in a dream while I'm driving, I can see the car going off the road. But this particular thing of what is connecting with me, what I'm seeing with this 100% full on electrical state of life by 2035, was that you don't have control. And in some cases, that would be specifically necessary for different people, because that would eliminate the the sight of what I saw in the dream that was coming. It would eliminate the mortality rate by death, homicidal vehicular homicide. But nonetheless, we'll deal with the thing about malfunctions, because that's what I'm thinking. Now, I also already said that if we're going 100% full CO2 free electricity by 2035, no one should have to pay for that, because it does not have any emissions, because you're not processing this for a power plant. You're harnessing it. Now, where are you harnessing this power from? That's the question that I have not gotten to yet, because we're dealing with the who's, the what's, the why's, and when's and where's is always going to be evident when we can use our tools like the computers to do that. Now, on the back end, I'm hearing my ancestors that have that computer tech savviness with them, with just this free electrical thing, is about the equipment being updated to be able to handle whatever surges of energy that we're getting from the sun. Because, it's like, do I combat what could be shown and given in the media for the information of what they're trying to do with what I feel that is naturally happening with our atmosphere? Now, I've always questioned, why is it possible for the rays of the sun to be blocked out, even whenever it's not raining, by certain types of clouds, right? Because right now the sun is out and it's very bright. It's in the afternoon, but we know that it's earlier than it's late, and it can be seen. It doesn't feel hot. They're saying the sun is getting hotter. So, what level are these rays being absorbed, right? And it did bring me back to the model of what I kind of drafted with, the plastic bottles about the layers of the atmosphere and the earth and what could capture certain rays, UV rays, and so many other rays that we have. Okay, ignore that. But it was very interesting because the 357 also resonate with progress. A lot of people are doing things and having plans, and like you see with this particular meeting that's going on in Cyprus, Dubai, and also with us internally as our own body and our systems that are working right for us in the first person perspective. We got the love, and then it brings us to family. And now we get into what it is about that spirit animal, the ant, because that deals with the willpower. And it also made me think about that childhood song, The Ant Moving the Rubber Tree Plant. Remember that? Let me get to where it is. So if you're carrying an ant as your spirit animal, ants live in nearly every corner of the earth. You're everywhere. And it made me think about another group of people who I can say are everywhere. In many regions, they represent willpower, diligence, patience, tenacity, endurance, fidelity, cooperation. This is all resonating with the abundance that we left out of the month of November with the tools. See, you're thinking duality means that it's always a fight, but it was balancing ourselves and getting in tune with the Most High and our own intuition and development and growth and using our gifts and talents that we have and being polished on that. That's where it is. And it's like, okay, this is the day cap. Like if you in happy hour, you'll be very happy. And look at the confirmation on the clock in Central Standard Time is a 2:11 because the 11 is gonna bring us to. And then when you look up the 2:11, when it comes to your angel number, you're gonna recognize what that's meaning. Let me put that on top. The 2:11 stamping it. And that's like the ancestors still in the message. So let's conclude with the ant. All right. Now, we got past the part of knowing that it's cooperation, trust, truthfulness, and power. It's our willpower. What are we willing to happen? Some people think about that as manifest destiny, all right, and manifest destination, or manifest just within yourself, like going in a kitchen and making a sandwich. You had to do it, okay? All right. So the ants in nature are amazing. They have amazing strength and considered very small, but they're mighty. See, they're small, but they're mighty. As big as you think you are. We living in a small world. Okay. In fact, they can carry over 20 times their own weight. Now, just think about this. This is something to make y'all laugh at. All right. You know how they say the people went to the moon and they have zero gravity, right? Just think about this. If you really did go to the moon or outer space that you blew up like they say the giants was, right? But when the ants go out of space, they really blow up like that. And they in zero gravity. Would you want to rumble with an ant on the moon? You won't be able to because if they able to pick up 20 times their weight in this round at this density, when they go to a higher density, oh my goodness, it'll be like the child of the um, Umbrella Academy who they did send to the moon. They made him like he was a gorilla or whatever, but I'm just thinking about him on the moon as an ant with 20 being able to do 20 times whatever you are, and it's the heaviest thing. Okay, so let's get it. That could be what it is that we need to know how mighty we are. We may small, but we are mighty. Let's see what else is being said as the totem animals. Okay, The people who are born as an ant totem are the ultimate planners. No matter how chaotic a situation seems, they somehow manage to stay controlled and focused. And so, that's a little bodybuilder, boy, in the gym. I could just see him. When you walk with ant spirit, social opportunities become especially important. You need friends and congenial groups to be truly healthy and happy. So, in order for you to strive as an ant spirit totem, you have to be around other ants. You gonna feel, I guess, deflated a little bit. They like you gonna be like these little weaklings here. What I'm doing in that group, so it means that you need to progress to the next group level. That's why class has beginner classes, you have lecture classes. You don't just go to the higher class sum cum laude before you go to first grade. That's why it's an order of things. I'm not ready to graduate none of the levels right now. I'm trying to do a cumulative accelerated course because baby stages, I still got some language to learn on the gurus and the guys and the certain cries and stuff. So I need a little bit more practice with that. And as well as dealing with the elderly, because when they get to the stage, you have to be aware what all of those mean as well. But that's with being able to have that balance and that openness to that. But we're not going to get off of being around other ants in your group. That's where we get colonies from of ants. You got the fire ants, you got the sugar ants, you got the army ants. Don't mess with them, right? Because one snap, if they was on the moon with the 20% of 20 times of the strength, times that, and giants, that's one snap you off. And then ants, and I done seen them eat almost anything. Y'all think pigs eat all kind of stuff, but an ant will eat everything. And some stuff it might even eat alive if it's half dead. Okay, I'm not lying. God bless those who done passed on from fatality. There ain't just some cultures in 100 or 1,000 faces of death. Lord, let me stop laughing at them. It's not funny. Composure. Oh my goodness. The stuff they put in movies. I'm not laughing at the person who had to endure that. But just to know that an ant is that mighty and that small, and that's the spirit animal that we're resonating with today, you don't want to play with an ant, right? Because there are those type of ants that will be used in torture chambers. People do that. I don't know. I guess I'm laughing at the people for doing that to each other when they find out about the power of certain things. I need to hold my willpower together as a spirit animal of the ant and not laugh at how people will do each other using certain things in nature or life. And that's what we're dealing with the technology that's going on with the 357 that's what's popping in the area code Dubai and Cyprus. Oh my God, this is too funny how all of this is making sense. But these are things that are relevant because they all are happening in the month of December. Somebody is going to move that rubber tree plant just like an ant. They probably out there right now chopping that perfect tree. You got to find the perfect Christmas tree. This is not for everybody. When I get to your culture and I say about what it is that y'all do for y'all section and this time of the year when they call it Christmas or what we're celebrating or whatever, you got your Yule laws or whatever. Y'all gonna be out there doing the same thing. You're making rolls, jelly rolls somewhere. Somebody making what they call it. Oh gosh, over there in Libya because baklava or something like that with the nuts and all of that on there. Okay, um, let's go. Don't make me no sweet potato pie. Not sweet potato. What's the other yellow one? Pumpkin pie. I don't like pumpkin pie. I like pumpkin seeds, not the pie. Okay, so we're getting back to the ant. The ants will do a lot of stuff. But nonetheless, we know that they live in a colony and they will stick together through thick and thin, right? Because you can see when certain ants are invaded by water, in order to survive that in their colony, they all ball together and they become a raft of life. That's the life raft, right? The next person, your fellow ant next to you. So this is coming together in community and unity. That's what we get the overstanding of building. Let's build, because you got to think about it. The colony is like the pyramid, and they're trying to figure out how these little ants were able to make. I almost said something that I was like, no, this not. A lot of people not ready for that yet. Okay, we know that the ants make their colonies and they stick together through the hardest of times, and they do know how to move. Now, what we do need to recognize in some particular areas of our lives as human on top of the earth, to watch the ants and see what the messages are that they are bringing us. If for any reason that you see where you live, if you are in a place that is prone to flood, from out of nowhere, a bunch of ants look like they crawling up the wall for no reason. You don't know where they come from. You didn't even know what they were there, because a lot of ants, some on some levels, they live lower than the ones that would be on top that you would see, the ones that would eat a dead bird or eat the roaches and eat the lizards and stuff like that. They have to come high to the surface. A lot of other ants that live inside, they do not have to come that far into the surface, because it's other living things that they will eat down there. Okay, now, if you do see them getting high, that let you know that water is sure to come, especially if you know that you have not disturbed an ant bed. And whatever ones are left by the time the water come, they're going to do what they got to do to survive. So that's building and being in community in that particular sector. So if you carry the ant totem as your spirit animal, it is very vital for you to be in community settings so that you can have the best rate of survival. And that could be like, everybody saying about their tribes and stuff like that. It is a good idea to deal with those who have a lot of wisdom and be around those who are kind, because that can actually help you flourish. You will have those who are giving you the wisdom to be able to progress through your life. And that's what we're dealing with the 357 that's resonating for today. And that's still, again, with looking at the clock, is a 222, a triple two, the true. Somebody might be on a train, a choo-choo train. Somebody might be about to have a smoke session and they smoking like they on a train of thoughts, just blowing the wind in the air, O's and O's and O's and O's. You know. If you know, you know. Now we got the 211 popped in for confirmation to go ahead and cap it off with us in this spirit animal for today. And that's for everybody to use that as a reflective, because a lot of things are not just for specific people. But if you are definitely born with this ant as your spirit animal, this is definitely for you. So you can have that ability to flourish better. Okay. Anything else on their summary? The ones some of you can fly. They're talking about the wing ant. Ants can be used as medicine, and it has been noted in many different cultures when they need to use sutures and get the ones that clamp, and it holds it together. So you just thinking about the principles of everything that is fitting for having a vital and wholesome life, right? Because you can live in wholesomeness and still be unvital, but that's resonating with the things that you consume. The ant spirit is a planner, The totem knows how to prepare for the future on one steps at a time. See, that's what we're talking about, those steps that you need to take to get into that community building. Some of you are going to have the ability to build communities, and that means that you will have to get with those who are in that particular group on helping you to build that community. Who do they consist of? Contractors, architects, um, electrical companies, if that's what you're going to deal with. If you build in a community that is off the grid, you still may have some things that you use for your electricity, and that considers generators, solar panels. You have to be able to make community with those people who have those particular resources, because now we're dealing with the, let me see, where is it? Was that one way back. Globalization of resources through e-commerce, because a lot of orders are now being made via online. That's why I can understand why they want to go full CO2 free electricity for 2035, because of some of the other plans and ideas that others have regarding technology that we're going to be phased into using, with a lot of the coalitions coming together making plans, and you still don't know what is hidden for the future. And I can understand these smart televisions, but this is what I do not like. The smart television being a bigger version of the compact television that we're now broadcasting over on this channel is, okay, this one way back there too. How do we revive the jurisdiction for cyber laws when we're dealing with international airways, because it's going to be open to everyone else, right? So from the standard of the law would have to bring in a galactic federation, because you got to think about it like this. The law of the land is a written law, and there's particular sectors: judicial, you have family, you have probate. The way the probate still fall under family. Now y'all get the picture of what I'm saying. And there's enforcement for that. You have maritime, which is in air or water. No, not air. It's just the water. No, it is air. Maritime is air and water, because you got the Navy and then you got Air Force. All right. But over the ether, which is the internet, the internet use the ether, is universal, right? I'm not telling you nothing that you can't look up. I got theses and stuff that I done wrote on these 3 pages, 5 pages, some of them in my files, to where I need to clean them out and just get rid of them, because I presented a portion of what it is that I had thought about, but I didn't want to make it longer than what they would ask, and that's just how it was. I was like, this free information, because everything you write when you're using your Blackboard, they are gonna publicly display it, and people can get a basis off of what it is that you have compiled from your thoughts, and make a sublet of whatever, as long as they're citing the sources, if it's any original quotes that has been created. Okay, so now that's copyright laws. We're dealing with universal law when we're dealing with the free energy sources. What was given to me right now is people on the earth that are using these things, we have to stick together like the ants. Because if not, you have a small group that's still going to facilitate how we should pay for something that is ultimately free. That's where I go back at. That's why I said in my mothering nature, I would be like, whatever is naturally free, that it is still free, no matter how you harness it. Nobody told y'all to build the machines that go up there and catch all of that energy, and they want to charge people for it because y'all decided to dig up in the earth to get all the metal to make all of the beams and the poles to do all of this with. That's just point blank, period. And I don't need no cards for that. That's just straight off the hat. and not my cap. Like y'all pull that rabbit out of the hat, doing the magic for that. Okay, let's see. Magic is free. Now, let's get to the final conclusion on this because I can go into it even more because what I just said just now would be who are the who's, right? Because we know that there's a who for real, WHO. These are the who's for this particular day that's residing in Dubai with the free energy thing. Where he at? Where he at? Where he at? Okay, where he at? We got the OECD, and that's 80% of the countries. Kerry urged that the rest of the world to join the North American country in the Power Pass Coal Alliance, which already includes 80% of the OECD countries. So I did not go into that a little bit further because I know that in this particular energy reading and what it was that the angel number was giving me, it does not feel good for me to mix up spiritual affairs, which would lead us to getting our personal selves in the body um, develop. Because a lot of times people let these particular type of things weigh on them too hard, and that's where we get physical wars from because they start from things that we are reading and we're proceeding on with the progress that these things have made the groups, the particular machines to do these things and whatever, and how people war behind the revenues about it, right? Because we know that there's going to be protest groups saying, no, 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 we don't need this. And especially like Korea, Japan, India, and China, they don't have a part in this just yet. But that's what the initiative is for the encourage them to go on this particular plot with them. I'm saying it's a plot because they didn't confide in their citizens before doing this, right? And as the plot thickens, is this. The U.S. is a big consumer of coal. It has a huge coal fleet of over 200 gigawatts. See, we dealing on kilowatts. I know about the watts air, watts, WATTS air. Been there a long time ago. I don't like to involve myself in these type of business deals when they come with what is being told to me through spirit to just find out, right? So that's where we get into spiritual investigation because we got to think about this is spiritual, supernatural, it is very natural. That is super when we think about what being harnessed and what is being used on what levels and the dynamics of it. And especially when we're being charged for the uses of this. And especially when a lot of time these particular things that we are using could cause people to have physical reactions. And why is it a physical reaction? Because of the stress. Why is it a physical reaction? Because the misuse and the application of the wires when you're dealing with people wiring homes, things, or whatever else. And why is it a physical reaction? Because the energy that they're harnessing, the source of the energy that they're harnessing is always reactive because we're thinking about reactive radiology. This is all dealing with all of that. I just don't want to get too deep into it. And it also always mean like why they want to go there with certain things when it's already set up for us to have our natural whatever it is and whatever we don't have, that's the time that we have to deal with. But then we got to think about it. These are also part of what could be considered the Hunger Games by some or a few because all right, the period of the unknown. See, there's a cycle that they try to put on a cycle, but there's still a period in a naturality that they cannot predict happening. And that's when There is no harvest to bear, right? Okay, so when we dealing with cultivation and we're thinking about the fruit and the stuff that resonate off of certain seasons that has the ability to grow in different UVs of what is in our natural and living, the way the sun and the moon will go, and then we do have other light sources that play a part regardless of whether how much of a hell that we want to think about. It is still a terrarium, right? It is still a circulatory system. And do I subscribe to the plane being flat? Yes, indeed. Because guess what? I would rather see my fields grow and produce than to see my hills, because it's harder to harvest, right? So think about that. Okay, now we get into the electrical part of what it is that's going on. These coalitions possibly are using the electricity to be able to have an out of harvest. This is how I think, because as being someone who can grow, you know that everything has a particular UV that it needs to grow, and then certain areas have a unexpected period of whatever. You can call them monsoons. You can't predict when landslides going to happen. You cannot predict tsunamis. You damn sure don't know what the hurricane is going to do, and everything else that is built is in opposition to what is naturally designed. Don't get it twisted. Do not get it twisted. A lot of people get it twisted. But these things are what is naturally designed, and the other things are only recreations to counteract what they can't or do not expect. Let it stay right there. So, going into what it is that the ant spirit is breaking us, there is a lot of progress on a lot of things that have been going on in front of your face and behind the scenes. A lot of what it is that is needed for love to win over hate, as well as for families to grow and be safe. Nonetheless, we carry the ant spirit for the day and hopefully continue to have that in the subconscious of our minds and sticking together and building for the progression of humanity to be in unity like it should be. And also with being able to have what we would consider to be a free living, if that ever will be possible. Now, I thank y'all for tuning in, because I didn't do that at first. I was just talking about why I'm looking like I'm looking, all wrapped up. We dealing with the winter times. Ladies, let's get it. Okay, so for this particular time, let me hurry up. I guess something else to do. It's hard to come loose. It's like, no, don't take it down. I heard somebody say, yeah, be like that all day. All right, so this is where we started. Yes, my hair is up. This is how long it is. And then we're going to take this and we're going to go here with it. You grab those corners. If I can get them even. And then you're going to go back. The flip up is always easier to do if you need to. And then if you have to, you're going to come all the way around. Make sure you flip back when you flip up. Tie right here. Tie just one because I'm going to take it down. If you want to, you can leave those down in that, but you can flip up. And then that's where you get this from, right? They keep you warm. You can put your scarf on. They wrap like almost like a hijab. Okay, I'm not doing it. This is how I would normally do. But I just had that on to show you because it was in the theme of what it was that came up with the 357. So this is what I would normally do because I have a jacket to put on. And that's how I had it earlier today. All right, so back to oh, they say put it back the other way. Not today, baby. When I put my dress on and it's really cold and I need to do that, I will. On the move, on the go. This is a way that you can put it. And just hold it in place. Up and off the neck. I don't really need none. It's not too cold today. That was just in the theme of things, and it just it never thought it didn't catch my mind. But I was like, how I can wear it if it was cold and I didn't have a jacket, and I did that, and I'm like, look at that angel number. What? The area code is Cypress Dubai. Okay, I see why. But thank you all, and for the women that are in those countries that are under any oppression, I am here with y'all. Rise for my sisters. Love and honor to you all over the earth. One woman, right? Your pain is my pain. We may not have the same pain at the same time, but if you are hurting, why would I not hurt with you? We are women. It could be you going through what you're going through right now, but it could be me later on going through the same thing. And yes, it is just that day. I might do it a little bit different. Let me see. I can. Something different. I don't know why I heard something old, something loose. Oh yeah, I'm glad I am in here. I forgot the 357, y'all, ladies. That's why I'm in it. Ladies, the 357. Remember the group that met? Well, not Master P. What his name? MC Hammerhead. He produced 357, and they were the juicy drive them crazy lady. What you doing is driving them crazy. I don't know what it is that you doing, but they love it, darling. Keep doing what you doing, because that's what we was at. But I forgot that, and I almost left out without saying it. The 357 get loose. Juicy drive them crazy. If y'all don't know that song, some of y'all might be too young to know, but go ahead on and take a look at that song. If it's in a video, listen to it and see what was going on in those days when I was young. I was saying my teenage years. Wait, hold up. Let me see. Juicy, drive them crazy, drive them crazy. I know they got that on there. I was listening to some healing frequencies, but they went down. Let me see. They say bring that other frequency. Yes, indeed. I just thought about that. I was about to leave out, and that is written on the notebook. 357, get loose. And that's the number one search in YouTube. What on the 357 get loose? Is the song. Watch. The Old Town 357. Mm-hmm. And that's what it is. Juicy got you crazy. Somebody have juicy lips. Somebody have juicy.
Daniel's guests are Madagma,
Mm-mm-mm.
Diana Bond, and Tina Burner.
What?
The problem, men. How do you keep them? These
How do
women
you
share
keep
some
them? They
very
talking
serious
about ladies. How you
things,
keep them?
but some women seem to have no trouble at all. How do they do it? Juicy got 'em crazy.
I remember those days. Those are days when you wear biker shorts, tennis skirts, shoes, and well, tritons, beater doors. You had the little flat boots, the scrunch boots. They were wearing pumps. Y'all seen Monica in the video when she had hers on, sitting on the phone, right? The polka dot stretch all onesies. Y'all ain't doing nothing we ain't do. They had all of that. The sheer shirts with the sheer sleeves and the bra top. You roll your stomach out with the skirt, a pencil skirt, the stretch pencil skirt. They're going to tell you all the time that there's nothing new under the sun. And then there's a combination of all of the eras that's brought together, whether it's metal fasteners and this is off the side. This is like fashion 101, right? As soon as you start being able to use a needle and thread for to put those skins together to cover yourself, once you knew that you needed something to help protect you because your skin was as fragile as it is when you decided to add flair to who you are. This is natural. We don't think outside of what it is that we think about what we're doing when we're making ourselves look any type of way, presentable, adorning with jewelry, this and that, whatever, and those things that could be considered vanity. The people I know, so when we started doing these things, we added flair to it because why? It just felt good. You will blend it in with your nature scene. What you did, you use your shells and stuff to adorn your hair. You use the leaves and stuff to make different things. If you were not eating them, drinking them, if they had roots that was uh, well enough to make rope or string, you made that out of it, right? You took the dirt and you went deep inside of it and you knew that that clay, once it got put on that fire and make a utensil for you to eat out of, you started using metal fasteners, right? We think about fashion. All of that is a combination in these 21st century of everything that has preceded before now. That's the progress that we're dealing with the 357 angel number. This is the song that we're dealing with. I'm looking at the style of clothing. I forgot we used to even dress like that. MC Hammer pants, where it's baggy in the middle. That kept the mind and the perception other than the physical body. You see, it was a stimulation here in the mind before it did anything to the body, but I'm thinking about where it's at now. And it is also relevant to the style of dress that is being used in the industry and how it play a part on our mental for what it is that they're selling to us. See, they sold sexy, but it wasn't trashy. It wasn't over, let me see, overrated by having less of what it is. Sometimes more is the best, but less ain't best when it depends on what you're exposing, especially in the body. That's why I had my hair like it was earlier to show you what it is that you can do if you feel like you have to do that in your womanhood to please your man. If that's who you really love, that is what you're going to do if they're in that particular culture because Now we dealing with the fashion part of it and how it can become fun to cover up and still have that flair just only for him. I used to live that life. And they were like, why are you dressing like this or whatever? It was unappealing to anybody else's eye because I'm only supposed to be appealing to his eye. And like I say, that I learned a lesson about that in a spiritual sense that was very, very hard lesson that I know cost me somebody who I really loved in every sense of what it is that's bringing me forward, that forward motion and that progress. And the elders sent the message in a way of that. I can't make up for that, but I can tell the ladies of a spiritual connection that is in proceeding to that level and how to use your intuition and don't go off the track or the path of what it is that you know is in your family's divination. I'm gonna say that because the dream could be a divination in a way if you think it, because it's from the divine. Anything that is resonating with those words that's being spoken after that is of the same fashion, right? Because I might have been at a party that the family was having in the garage from the den go right outside there, and they got a picture where Auntie Glow from off of his side is on the thing at the in the den. I tried to grab it but couldn't grab it to bring back with me because it's something from that time to say, oh yeah, I was here. Do you remember this? Why all these people was doing this? Or why were they doing that? On their side. We haven't seen that. What sparked that off? This person, that person, they all having the same reaction, and everybody else just caught up in the middle. Where did you go? You didn't do what you were supposed to do. So something wasn't right. And we're dealing with premonitions. That's what I was just speaking of. But the three